Two poems for Gil Scott-Heron. 1. Dear Gil Scott, you make me wanna holla the way you did your life, distilling the rhythm of the inner city black blood nation down to one drop. You laid the tracks, leaving pieces of a man, like breadcrumbs, like the crumble of a heart once beating in hope, then left out to dry, hanging in the wind of this hot air American lie. You make me wanna holler your name in every high school class that asks me about hip-hop. Godfather, granddad, you schooled us in the discipline of linguistic cadence, pollinated our kindergarten with a kinder kind of blossoming. Love was your act of resistance in the face of racially motivated hatred, in the wake of relentless subjugation of your brother and sister and father and mother by this monster of othering. And when you couldn't get us to listen, when your chants and incantations of a better world fell on the deaf ears of our own disconnection, you left as well. Sweeter was the solace of a pipe or a line inhaled through the same dollar bill you warned us all about. I'd say we failed you, but no, you know better now than to rest in any shallow, bitter pond. Now, from over there, I know you fed us good, felt it, lived it, and wrote it, so the rest of us could remember, could dare to want better. So we would learn to use our own heartbeats to drive the rhythm of our lives, not the calcified drives of the media master's dead refrain of more, 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 again and again and again. Like a preacher from another time, your words resonated, giving voice to the voiceless, to all of us. Jesse B. Simples, all of us trapped on the treadmill, treading water so deep, we all be caught in the undertow, near drowning. Your verse was like a lifesaver, your words like a hug. You knew us, up too damn early every morning, receptionist desk, production line, call center. You know us, the dragged down dog tired, chewing the marrow off this American nightmare, this dream too long deferred. Grandfather, headmaster of revolutionary poetic resistance, you schooled us, taught us better than to be fooled by racial commodification, by capitalism's sexy sirens. You knew better than to let your soul be consumed by a hunger that can never get its fill. You got on board the soul train, got behind your people with love, with a megaphone, with poetry, with music, you bluesologist. And now, though you are gone, you have not left us. Your words will not echo like a memory from history. They are here with us now, here, booming out like thunder. Word, you are with us, in the rhythm and sound all around. I know you are with us. Every time a beating but broken heart tells a hand to pick up the microphone and start, you are with us. In every breath, you are with us. Freed from the cocoon of this world, you are with us. You are with us. You are with us. a butterfly dancing in the wind of our every word. 2. Not another poem about Gil Scott-Heron. Yes, this is yet another poem about Gil Scott-Heron, though it isn't just another riff on the death of the American dream. Does not venture a guess as to whether or not the revolution will be aired on television, but yeah, this is indeed another Gil Scott-Heron poem. Although it is not just a poem about the history of hip-hop and the starring cast from the soundtrack of rap's black ancestral past. No, although this poem will briefly rehash how the lyrical evolution of Grandmaster Flash went supernova in the 70s, ignited by a spark from the combustible verse of Gil Scott. But still, this poem will not focus just on how, as time passed, Mr. Heron was unwittingly anointed the godfather of rap, 'cause Gil Scott-Heron wouldn't dig that. Gil Scott would want me to tell you the story of how I used him. Used the fat fly flow from whatever dude they be downloading on iTunes to trick a posse of teenage boys into learning the history of black poetry and how it all started way back in the days of slavery, when call and response, rapid fire verbal assaults, and hypnotic rhythms left the slave masters bewildered by the automatic, fully loaded weapons our ancestors used to fight their way to freedom and back again, to set their brothers and sisters free as well. At first, those boys gave me the side eye and said, "Yo, you be trippin'." But when I dropped a fresh dose of Gil Scott-Heron, they slowly started to listen. As I told them their history and how the rebirth of black urban spoken word was born from a bell-bottomed Afro-headed poetic, how Gil Scott rapped the state of the streets with a wild, uninhibited, rhythmic abandon, both outcast and anointed truth-teller, troubadour unchained, signifying heir to the literary throne the black arts movement had kept warm. Yeah, word. Gil Scott would want me to talk about the way the verse of Langston Hughes blazed into his ears and ignited a fire. How the embers of black vernacular, forged by the roaring passion of 20s Harlem, kept his own heart, his own wily words warm. Gil Scott would want me to relate the history of the linguistically nimble lineage of lyricists from which he was born. Gil Scott would want me to tell the story of how he and the other far-out, jive-talking, reefer-puffing, can you dig it, hip-hep cat griots of his generation, those who revolutionized, regenerated, and reconstructed black poetics, were only boats floating down the river of diasporic creative evolution, showing us how to let go to the rhythm of the current. Gil Scott would want you to know it ain't about the boat. It's all about the ocean. All about going with the flow and surrender to the moment. And Gil Scott would also want me to tell you the rest of the story, how those trick teenage poets opened me up, pushed me past my practiced artist panic, taught me how to freestyle, how to not be afraid to be a fool, to let down the guard of my own barricaded, polished facade as I fumbled to find rhyme in the cycle of after-school rap ciphers. How those kids gave me space to stumble and fall, with the faith that I'd find my rhythm if I let go of my inhibitions and just refuse to give in. But this isn't a poem about me or even intergenerational mentorship. It's a poem about the river of history. It's a poem about the flow that feeds into this oceanic art we call spoken word. It's a poem about the current, about the past, the present, and the precedent. It's about the power of connection between those who laid the track and the train that blazes ahead on them. It's about having the courage it takes to dare heart-centered communication, to dare to speak up, to dare to pour out emotion, to dare to bear witness to your life, owning both your courage and the so-called failures that you learn from. It's about daring to dive in, deep to the seventh chakra blues of the experience of being human and let it stream through you until you are washed clean and free again. It's about climbing up to the top and diving down to the bottom. It's about letting the words comfort zone become nothing but a joke. As all your heartbreak and loss, all your wisdom and love, everything that breathes life into your body from the mystery of your soul, fills up your lungs and is sent out into the world like a helium balloon, suddenly let go. It's a poem about riding the rapids of dialect. It's a poem about being up the creek of your own vulnerability, rudderless and stripped. It's a poem about being naked in a snowstorm and singing out your own name again and again and again and again. It's a poem about knowing you are not alone. You are not alone, you are not alone. As you carve a new language from the tip of your tongue. Yeah, this is indeed another Gil Scott-Heron poem. Another poem about the life of a riverman with an ego the size of Texas. Or so I've been told. But what do I know? I'm new here, with my luggage full of bones. Show me around.